Hey there, Ramble Force. Welcome to another episode of the Digital Ramble, episode 27 today, and I'm joined as always by my good friend in Houston, Texas, JJ Cannon. Hey, mate.
Well, hey, mate. How are you? Happy belated Father's Day. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend there.
We did, yeah. We had a lovely day yesterday as a family and caught up with grandparents as well. So, yeah, an all-around good day. I hope you had a good one as well.
It's been fantastic. It was great hanging out with family, and celebrating. So, yeah, had a great weekend. I've been watching you on Insta, and you are just busy. I mean, just crushing the nulls.
Well, Instagram's my default social media platform. It's where we put our freshest content. So I'd encourage anyone who want to know what Customized get up to every day, and I mean every day, follow our Instagram profile at Customized1.
Yeah, friends, it's just absolutely sick. Go over there and check it out. And if you want to follow us, we're dropping videos every so often at Digital Delight 1. And yeah, man, episode 27, Smart Home Q&A Part 2. Last week was just epic. I mean, we had so many people corresponding and watching last week's episode. It was incredible. And so we're going to just continue through this season and answer some more questions that our listeners and viewers, that our homeowners and dealers and manufacturers might have. So you ready to get on into it?
Let's go. Part 2.
All right, Gamble. Hey, man, I just want to definitely thank our friends that contribute to us on a weekly basis, monthly basis over there at Patreon. If you'd like to continue to support the Digital Ramble, check out patreon.com/the Digital Ramble. And, yeah, man. So, this week, a lot of people enjoyed our last week's episode and sent us a couple of more questions, and so we're just going to stack another 6 questions in here. And I guess I'll start off with Charlie Decker. Charlie sent us a question, and he says, when building a new home, should we run Ethernet to all rooms? Anything else that we should consider? You want to tackle this one, Gamble?
Yeah, because I think there's a trap you can fall into. You can run too many cables, and you end up with lots of spare. And I know it sounds a bit odd to say, too many cables, but run the right cables, use them for the services that are needed. Maybe have a mind on some future connectivity, but they've used the term Ethernet, and that's a type of traffic that can go on a cable, and that type of cable is normally a Cat6, Cat5e, Cat6a type cable. So if you're instructing somebody to run Ethernet cable, make sure they're running the best quality Cat cable. So I would say Cat6 is a minimum. We've introduced that in our business as a minimum standard, just because of the performance that cable brings.
Yeah,
Cat6 such a flexible cable. It's going to carry your internet. It's going to carry power for devices like cameras and Wi-Fi hotspots. It's also going to deliver high definition video, your smart TV content. So it's a really flexible cable with its origins in networking and telecommunications, but now it's your flexible friend throughout your house.
Yeah, absolutely. And having it is way better than not having it after the house is built. We call it CYR, cover your rear, whenever we're running wires. And it's best to run an extra one just in case you might need it or for future proofing in the,
Yeah, I'd say as a rule, just to put a kind of close on it, I would say if the room has a television outlet and you're planning having a TV there, if you can, run minimum of 2 Cat6 cables, and if you want to have a blowout, go for 4, but exceeding 4, I don't see any value in more than that. But also don't forget your coaxial cable as well for your terrestrial television that we've got here in the UK, satellite or aerial based.
Yeah, and he also asked here, Anything else that we should consider? You know, for us, fiber is really starting to be a big part of what we're doing, and so maybe a consideration of pulling a fiber over from your home run panel to each of your video displays or your computer stations, things like that throughout your house.
Yeah,
But optical is going to get you your fastest speed. At least here in the states,
I'm on
that's what
the
I'm seeing.
yeah, I'm on the fence with fiber in the home as somebody that's worked with fiber for over 2 decades. In my previous career as well, I worked with fiber a lot, and I just can't see it used in short runs in the home. I don't see it having any huge benefit over copper, but I'm probably going to be proven wrong in about 25 years' time.
Well, when you come and visit me in September, I'll show you. I'll show you what we're working. It's like
Okay.
the front yard's a football field.
Yeah.
We gotta get network out to that
Oh
gate, and
yeah.
sometimes Cat 6 just
Fiber
ain't cutting it.
fiber really comes into its own over distance. So if for the normal house, cable runs might be 25, 35, 40 meters. But if you're going to go over than 70 meters, 80 meters, 90 meters, if you're getting in that kind of range, then it is fiber, and that is your only choice. You don't want to be pushing copper over 90 meters.
No, definitely not. We got another question by Alex Dennard, and she's asking, what's the benefit of having a full custom automation system versus a consumer friendly option? And a custom automation system, some homes might require something that's custom. The thing that we've seen, some of the pain points that we've seen, is that once that particular product, there's almost like a life cycle to that product and what it can support down the road, and that life cycle could be as short as like 5 years. In the sense, like a custom product could rewrite a code that no longer works with that device that you might have installed 5 years ago. And unfortunately, that might mean that the whole system needs to be redone or rewired, or you need to rebuy all the hardware, versus the consumer friendly option. A lot of them have shelf lives of a good 10 years that's just continually updating through software, not necessarily the hardware that needs to be updated.
Yeah, I think technology does have an expiry date. It's something that's been discussed before in forums, and I've seen trade press articles about tech having expiry dates. And you've got to be willing to accept that you may have to upgrade some things over the years. I think there are some long-term investments you can make in custom tech. I think if you choose wisely the right lighting system, I believe that should be a at least 15-year investment. That you should not be changing out your lighting system, even more than that, 20 years, 25 years. When you're coming to things like tech, like televisions and music systems and smart appliances, yes, there's a cycle that's a lot less. So you're talking 5, 10 years at most. But there's always been an argument that the custom technology was more reliable than the consumer technology. And I think over the last 2 years, 3 years, we've seen that balance go the opposite way. Certainly in our installations, we've seen such high reliability from the consumer-friendly brands, the ones that you can buy, freely online or in the big box stores, and seeing a higher failure rate on the more custom pro products, lower production rates, so higher chance of failing. And we've had a great success with some of the higher volume products that have 99 point something percent uptime, ridiculous reliability.
Yeah, the pain points, we came across some pain points several years ago whenever 1080p started coming out, and all the HDMI matrices that we deployed out in our clients' homes only supported up to a 1080i resolution, and all of that hardware needed to be upgraded to 1080p. And then just a couple of years later, 4K came out, and so that matrix only does up to 1080p now, and now you got to upgrade all of that to now 4K if you want the purest and highest resolution. And so, that was one thing that caused us to go a little bit more towards siloing, which means system local here in the States is what we were doing. And so custom automation is necessary in some applications. Honestly, with siloing and consumer-friendly options, I think you can accomplish a lot of the same things and have a lot longer experience and use time out of some of the consumer products. But it really is based on what you are trying to accomplish.
Yeah. So next question is from Claire Moore. I appreciate you sending this question in, Claire. She's a DIYer, so she's going to be doing her own smart home, but she wants to know, how does she buy with confidence? How does she know what she's buying is going to work and continue to work and maybe work with other things? So it's a minefield, JJ. It's quite hard to find the right products if you're DIYing it.
Yeah, you can do a little bit of searching online and kind of get close, and you might get lucky, with a couple of products here and there. But through experience is really where you start to learn if these products will work correctly together. That's why you and I we support consulting with a smart home professional that can really guide you in the right direction of buying right the first time. And because it could be eye-opening, it can be quite an investment, a bad investment on the front end if you buy a bunch of things and then you try to get it all working together, and then come to find out after all of that time it took to install it, to get it set up, to come to find out that, man, they just weren't made to work together. So I think a little bit of investing in a smart home professional on the smart end, at least as a consultant, to kind of guide you in the right direction. DIYer, I enjoy speaking with clients that like getting their hands on, but I really want them to also enjoy what they're trying to install. But there is some education that needs to be had there. And also, if you watch any of the Digital Ramble videos, that'll kind of get you in the right direction there, Claire.
I would also say that, you don't have to contact a Home Tech Pro, if that's not the route you want to go down. If you do want to be self-sufficient, forums, blogs, YouTube, choosing the right voice assistants can sometimes get you out of jail. So buy products that do work with Madam A, and she becomes your kind of get out of jail. She becomes your aggregator for all your tech. And look at other platforms that might give you a workaround. If This Then That is one that's well known, that will combine two items of technology that might not natively talk with each other, but If This Then That can provide a solution for you.
Yeah, cool. I actually had this question last week from a different client, so I'm appreciative of Sage Wheatley dropping this in here for us. But they were asking about CO and smoke detectors, throughout their home. And Sage was saying, what is a good, reliable, and affordable CO and smoke detector?
Well, for me, I would only reach for one product to market. But for me, I would only go with the Nest Protect device. We've got 4 of them going into the house tomorrow. They can either be battery powered, or they can be hardwired into your mains wiring, so they can replace your existing smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. They've got a lot of intelligence built in. They know the difference between different types of fires. They do self-testing on a daily, hourly, weekly, monthly basis. They send you a report each month to tell you everything's okay. And one of the nicest features I like from the Nest Protect is it's got this neat little night light. So as you approach the smoke detector that's on the ceiling, you're walking down the corridor, you get this nice illumination from the ceiling, showing you your way to the bathroom or the utility room or the pantry. And that's a nice way to light up the hall without putting your main lights on.
Yeah, and it's relatively affordable. I mean, if you're thinking about life safety, it's a must-have. And the cool thing about
Yeah.
the Nest products is it can also, kind of going back to our other previous question from Claire, is it can integrate, if you buy right, it can integrate with lighting control systems. So let's say you do have an alert in the middle of the morning, at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's serious, and that CO2 senses something, or smoke senses something. Those lights that are associated with that CO2 will illuminate to a pathway to get you and your family out of the house safely, or can at least give you some visual on what is happening inside of your house. And you can do that with Lutron. Lutron is compatible. And then you can also queue it up with the Philips Hue. I know you're a big Hue fan, and to where you can actually set up color codes to give you additional feedback and understanding of what is triggering that CO or smoke detector. Cool feature.
Yeah, just to clarify, though, it's CO, so carbon monoxide rather than carbon dioxide. It's not CO2. So just to
Yeah, the
so we don't
CO.
get comments, it's CO,
Yeah.
CO detector. Okay, so next question we've got 2 questions left. So this one, I'm pretty sure it's somebody that's a long-term listener here because they know how much of a fan we are of less is more and sacking that rack. We've had a question. My husband wants to commandeer one of our closets for a rack. Is this necessary, or can I have a shoe closet? So I think this has come from my wife because my last house, I ended up telling her, no, I need this cupboard. I need to fill it up with equipment, and there's going to be switches and matrices and amplifiers and this is going to be the smart cupboard. And now I've got egg on my face because there's no need. There was no need in that size of property we had, and for most houses of a certain size, there's no need to have dedicated cupboard space for equipment. The equipment can be local in the way that JJ approaches his installations with system local approach. So if you've got a huge house, then yeah, you will need a rack. I think there's merit in having a rack, but for the everyday Joe home, there's no need.
Not necessary. And I mean, we're pretty surprised with what we can do even in large format homes, with a lot of square footage. Um, but it's all about how it's engineered and how it's designed and the particular products that we're using in clients' homes that still give you good quality and reliability. It's just how it's designed, and it's really exciting whenever I'm talking with builders or homeowners about not needing to use a rack. I mean, their eyes light up, their ears perk up, and they want to hear more. How can we take this rack out of the equation and not necessarily have to use a matrix or an audio distribution amp? So it's pretty cool. I love sharing those types of stories with clients, and maybe we'll talk about it here on the Digital Ramble a little bit more one day. So, all right, last question, brother. You want to handle this one, or you want me to shoot it out there?
Go for it.
All right, Sydney Barker. Summer is here. How can I control the content and time being invested in network devices with my kids?
Yeah. So yeah, we asked for a little bit more info on this one, and it was she was worried about the amount of screen time her kids were having in the summer. She wants them to be outside, playing on their bikes, water fights. Get outside. There's no need to be on the screen all the time. But they find ways. They sneak the iPad into their room. They take the iPod Touch. They've got smart TV that they can access in other rooms. And my suggestion for this viewer is get a router or a router, your side of the pond.
Thank you.
That allows you to pause devices. Most tech, the kind of tech we talk about, Eero, Amplify, some of the Linksys, the Netgear products out there that they've got these mesh Wi-Fi systems. They've all got nice features like being able to create profiles per child, the ability to pause or schedule a device's internet access, and you can even give out rewards for some screen time and unlock a device so that it can get online.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the biggest challenges is when they are out of the house and they might be on data. And when we were doing our season about smart spaces, kid places, you know, we featured and highlighted that Disney Circle, which you can actually download and protect, you know, the content that's viewed or accessed even on data or cellular services off of the Wi-Fi and the network. So that's a really cool tool, Sydney, that you might want to take a look at as well.
Hey, we've done it. We've done 6 more questions. We highly encourage people to send in questions. Leave them in the comments. When you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, leave comments. If you're part of our Facebook group, if you listen to Anchor, you can even record a question for us and we'll pick it up. If you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, hit the messaging platforms and send us direct messages to the show.
You know, Gamble, that's one thing. I never thought I'd ever have a podcast. I just, it never came to me about, I got 2 now, you know, about doing a podcast. And it is so cool. And then to be able to see, I mean, one thing is seeing view counts on Facebook and things like that and YouTube, but also just to know that people are tuning in to the Digital Ramble either on Anchor or in iTunes or on Spotify and listening just to, you know, those audio recordings is really cool. And so if y'all weren't aware of that, yeah, we're like on 11 different platforms for podcasting. All you have to do is type in the Digital Ramble and something will pop up. And it's got our logo in there, so take a look for it. And it's great for travel. You can download it, listen to it later, whatever. But please, drop some questions. We might have an answer. We might not, and we got to go find one. Hey, man, so this week we got the Gamble Ramble. And I think what your topic is today is don't be afraid to contact a home tech pro.
Yeah. So
hold on. Mike, go ahead on. There we go. All right, now we can go.
I'm always drawing on things that have happened to me last week. I'm not creative enough to come up with these fantastic Gamble Rambles anymore. So I just draw on what happens every week in my job. And twice last week, we did surveys for people and they said, oh, I didn't know whether to contact you. I didn't know if you worked in my type of house. You know, we're not as fancy or as wealthy or as posh as some of the pictures we've seen on your profiles and some of the case studies on your website. And it made me quite embarrassed that a member of the public felt uneasy about contacting us, because we're very much about the every person home having access to smart home and a professional installation of smart home. So, you know, I said to both people, I said, please don't feel that you can't contact us. And if, you know, we'd love your feedback on that, because I know they were struggling with some pain points. We talk about pain points. They had inadequate security. They were struggling with buffering content. Their internet speeds were slow. Another one had a recent break-in or vandalism to the rear of their property, and they wanted a camera put up. But there wasn't, you know, there's not hundreds of home tech professionals in the area, but they felt uneasy about contacting us. And so if you're a member of the public, just treat the home tech pro like the painter, the plumber, the electrician. It doesn't matter if they've got pictures of fancy houses on their website or their Instagram profile. Get in touch with them. They'll be round, free survey, and they'll guide you through solving your issues and relieving that pain that you've got with some technology.
Yes, friends, I want to emphasize that. Please call a home tech pro. If you got some questions, just search on Google. home tech professional. There's organizations that are out there that also have a lot of access to people in our industry. So seek those organizations out as well. Hey, Gamble, we got to go, man. That 30 went quick. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so apologies if there was any, the technical issues we had, just a bad connection there. So if you see a little glitch in the edit, then it's just us having a little bit of connection problems. But please keep in touch with the show, drop us a message, comment, share, like our posts. We really want to hear from you. Part 3 next week, episode 28. We're continuing the Smart Home Q&A. Season 4 is all about us answering your questions.
Absolutely. All right, friends, until next week, y'all have a great week. Every month, the Digital Ramble will receive a regular source of income from supporters who've pledged through Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, having your ongoing support means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you.
Customized, based in Norfolk, England, are proud sponsors of the Digital Ramble. Check out our all set up services. It's smart home installation with ease. Customize.uk.com.
If you're looking to make your basic home smart, check out digitaldelight.com/shop, where they have a variety of different smart home technology solutions that help make smart home shopping easy for you. Check out digitaldelight.com/shop.